I almost lost my mind planning our perfect wedding. For days after saying, "I do," at 6:47 p.m., I stood outside room 207 watching my husband walk out hand in hand with the resort receptionist who checked us in for our honeymoon. "She thinks I'm at dinner with Jake," he said, adjusting his wrinkled shirt. "Poor thing. She looks so happy at check-in," she laughed softly. "She has no idea her husband can't keep his hands off me." I raised my phone that was already recording. "Ethan." He froze. His face drained of color as he saw me standing there, camera pointed directly at him. He took a step toward me. I took 2 steps back, keeping the phone between us like a shield. He violently lunged forward to grab it. That's when it happened. "My name is Ashley Reynolds. I'm 26 years old, and I lived in San Diego, California. 4 days ago, I was Ashley Reynolds Montgomery, newly married to a man I thought I knew. I worked as a graphic designer for a tech startup. Not glamorous, but stable. I'm good at what I do. Good enough that I was able to take 2 weeks off for our honeymoon without worrying about my projects falling apart." Ethan worked in finance. He's British, came to California 3 years ago on a work visa, climbing the corporate ladder at a London-based investment firm's US office. Smart, ambitious, charming in that specific way British guys are charming to American women. I fell hard. We all do. We met at a networking event I only attended because my roommate dragged me there. He made me laugh within 5 minutes. We were engaged within a year. Everyone said we moved fast, but it felt right. He felt right. The wedding was small, my family, a few friends, some of his colleagues since his family couldn't fly over. Simple ceremony in a garden, reception at a nice restaurant. Nothing extravagant. We were saving our money for the honeymoon. Seascape Resort in Monterey. 5-star beachfront property. The kind of place that shows up in travel magazines with headlines like "Most Romantic Getaways in California." We'd booked it 8 months in advance. Ocean view suite, private balcony, couple spa packages. The works. We arrived on a Wednesday afternoon. The sun was doing that golden thing it does over the Pacific. Ethan carried me over the threshold of our hotel room. Literally, like in the movies. We laughed. We popped champagne. We took those honeymoon selfies that everyone takes, faces pressed together, trying to get the ocean in the background. I thought I was living a dream. I should have seen the signs. Actually, I did see them. I just didn't want to believe what I was seeing. The first one was at check-in. Tina was working the front desk. Mid-20s, blonde. That specific kind of resort pretty where you can't tell if it's natural or professional. She smiled at both of us, but her eyes lingered on Ethan. And he noticed. I saw him notice. "Congratulations on the wedding," she said, handing us our key cards. "And oh, your eyes are so pretty." She complimented me. "Thank you so much, honey," I said, genuinely touched. "Oh, you are welcome," she said, and her eyes were still on Ethan. "My personal number is on the welcome packet in your room. Call me directly if you need anything at all, day or night." Ethan thanked her. I felt something wasn't right, but I waved it off, convincing myself I was being paranoid. The next night at dinner, Ethan kept his phone face down on the table. Not unusual. He'd been trying to disconnect from work for the honeymoon. But twice during our meal, it buzzed. And both times, he glanced at it quickly, then flipped it back over without saying anything. "Work?" I asked. "Just notifications," he said. "Nothing important." The second sign came the next morning. We were at breakfast on the terrace, ocean view, fresh fruit, everything perfect and Instagram ready. Tina walked by on her break, saw us, came over to chat. "How's the room?" she asked. "Perfect," I said. "Thank you again for the upgrade." But she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at Ethan, and he was looking back. There was something in that look, a warmth, a familiarity that made my stomach twist. "If you need any restaurant recommendations," Tina said, pulling out her phone, "I know all the best spots. The ones locals actually go to, not the tourist traps. We'd love that." She spent 5 minutes trying to make conversation. I wasn't comfortable, but Ethan didn't act like it was a problem. But something felt wrong. That afternoon, we did the couple's spa. Massages, facials, the full resort experience. I tried to relax, tried to let go of the weird feeling that had been building in my chest. This was my honeymoon. I was supposed to be blissfully happy, not anxiously watching my husband's moves. I was in the relaxation room afterward, sipping cucumber water, when one of the housekeepers approached me. She looked 35, with probing eyes and pursed lips. Mrs. Montgomery? She said quietly. That's me. She glanced around, making sure we were alone, then pressed a folded piece of paper into my hand. Don't read this now. And don't tell anyone I gave it to you. Before I could respond, she was gone. I waited until I was back in our room, until Ethan was in the shower, before I unfolded the note. I know something about your husband. Don't tell him I contacted you. Meet me after your spa appointment tomorrow. 3rd floor, near the service elevator. 2 p.m. Betty. My hands shook as I read it. Then read it again. I know something about your husband. Those 6 words sat in my stomach like stones. I could have ignored it, thrown the note away, told myself it was some weird prank or mistake. This was my honeymoon. I was supposed to trust my husband, supposed to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I couldn't shake Tina's smile, Ethan's face-down phone, the way they'd looked at each other. So the next day, I told Ethan I wanted to do some solo shopping in town. He seemed almost relieved, said he'd relax by the pool, maybe catch up on some reading. We kissed goodbye like normal couples do. At 2 p.m., I was standing near the service elevator on the 3rd floor. Betty appeared exactly on time, emerging from a service corridor with a laundry cart. She looked around nervously, then gestured for me to follow her into a small supply closet. I shouldn't be doing this, she said immediately. But I can't watch it happen again. Watch what happened. Betty took a breath. Tina, the receptionist who checked you in, she has a pattern. She targets male guests who come here for honeymoons or anniversaries, specifically the ones who seem wealthy or important. She flirts, exchanges numbers, and if they take the bait, she escalates. My mouth went dry. How do you know this? Because I've worked here for 5 years. I've seen it happen at least 6 times that I know of. And 3 months ago, she did it to my cousin and his new wife. Ruined their marriage. My cousin's wife caught them together, filed for divorce. Tina faced no consequences. Management keeps her because she's good at her job and guests love her. I leaned against the wall, feeling dizzy. Why are you telling me this? Because yesterday, Tina was bragging to another receptionist in the break room. She said she'd hooked a special one. Said he was British, worked in finance, staying in room 315. Betty looked at me with such sadness. That's your room. No, I whispered. Ethan wouldn't. She said they're meeting tomorrow, Thursday, at the Seaside Inn, 2 miles north of here. Room 207. 5 p.m. The supply closet felt like it was shrinking. How do you know the room number? I saw the reservation confirmation on her phone when she left it on the break room table. She wasn't even trying to hide it. Betty touched my arm gently. I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear on your honeymoon, but you deserve to know the truth. I left that supply closet feeling like a different person than the one who'd entered it. Dead inside. That evening, Ethan was cheerful at dinner. Too cheerful. He ordered wine, talked about extending our trip by a few days, held my hand across the table. And every touch felt like a lie. I might meet up with an old friend tomorrow, he said casually, sawing into his steak. Remember Jake from business school? Turns out he's living up here now. Saw something on LinkedIn. We're going to grab coffee around 5. There it was. The lie, delivered so smoothly I would have believed it if I didn't know better. That sounds nice, I said, my voice steady. Where are you meeting? Some cafe in town. He's sending me the address. Ethan smiled at me. I should be back by 6:30. We can do dinner on the beach like we planned. I smiled back. Perfect. That night, while Ethan slept beside me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. Part of me wanted to confront him right then. Wake him up and demand the truth. But Betty had given me something more valuable than information. She'd given me specifics. Time. Place. Room number. If I confronted him now, he'd just deny it. Gaslight me. Tell me I was being paranoid and jealous. I'd look crazy. I needed proof. Undeniable, public, shareable proof. At 3 a.m., I grabbed my phone and called the Seaside Inn. A night clerk answered. I'd like to book a room for tomorrow, I said quietly. Do you have anything available? We do. Checking in what time? Around 4:30. Room for 1 night. Name. I gave them my maiden name and credit card. They confirmed the reservation. Room 318. 1 floor up from room 207. The next morning, Thursday, I acted normal. We had breakfast. Went for a walk on the beach. Took more photos that would never make it to Instagram. Ethan was relaxed and affectionate. The perfect husband. At 4 p.m., he kissed me goodbye. Be back by 6:30, he promised. I waited exactly 10 minutes, then followed. The seaside inn was a smaller property, older but clean. Local couples and families, not the luxury honeymoon crowd. I saw Tina walk in 15 minutes after Ethan had gone into the hotel. My heart sank. I checked in quickly, went straight to my room, and sat on the bed. I was nervous and angry. I was thinking of the best way to confront Ethan. It was then it hit me. I'd been building a small following on social media. Nothing huge, maybe 1,500 followers across platforms, mostly people who liked my design work. I'd never gone live before. Never really saw the point. I saw the point now. At 4:55 p.m., I went live on Instagram. "Hey everyone," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "This is going to sound insane, but I need witnesses. I'm on my honeymoon. We got married 4 days ago. And my husband told me he's meeting an old friend right now. But he's not. He's here, in this hotel, in room 207, with the receptionist from our resort." Viewers started trickling in. 10, 20, 35. "I'm going to go down there in a few minutes," I continued. "I don't know exactly what I'm going to find, but I have a pretty good idea. And I want all of you to see it. Because when people like him get caught, they lie. They manipulate. So I need proof. For myself, and honestly, for anyone else who's ever been gaslit by someone they loved." The comment section was going wild. People telling me to be careful. People saying I was brave. People saying this was fake. People asking if I was okay. I wasn't okay. But I was ready. At 6:15 p.m., exactly 15 minutes before Ethan said he'd be back, I went downstairs. I walked slowly down the corridor toward room 207, phone in hand, live stream still running. 56 viewers now. The camera showed the hallway, the room numbers, my hand trembling slightly as I got closer. I positioned myself a few feet from the door, pretending to text, camera angled perfectly to catch whoever came out. The minutes crawled. 6:18, 6:19, 6:20. The viewer count hit 100. 6:22. The door to room 207 was opening. I stood there in the hallway, phone in my hand, heart hammering so hard I could hear it in my ears. I'd been standing there for 3 minutes, waiting. I was about to make the most shocking discovery of my life. My phone was in my hand, ready to capture everything. And then I saw them both come out. My husband, Ethan, the man I'd married 4 days ago, stepped out first. His shirt was wrinkled, his hair messy in that specific way that only happens after intense lovemaking. Then came a hand, still holding his. It was Tina's, the resort receptionist who'd checked us in when we arrived a few days ago for our honeymoon. "Ethan." My voice came out steadier than I expected. Almost calm. The kind of calm that comes right before a storm. He froze mid-step. His head whipped around. For one beautiful, terrible second, I watched his face cycle through every emotion. Confusion, recognition, shock, fear, and finally, that desperate calculation of someone trying to figure out if they can still lie their way out. "Is this your old friend?" "Ashley," he started, moving towards me. I stepped back. "Don't." Tina had gone completely white. She looked at me, at Ethan, and then she just ran. Literally ran down the corridor in her heels, one hand covering her face. The live chat was exploding. I kept the camera steady, kept it pointed right at his face. "It's not," he tried again. "This isn't what it looks like." I laughed. Actually laughed. The sound surprised even me. "You were holding hands, Ethan. You just came out of a hotel room with another lady." He looked down like he was searching for the perfect lie to tell. "Turn that off," he said, and now his voice had an edge to it. The same tone he used with people at work when they weren't moving fast enough. "Ashley, turn it off right now." "No." That one word hung between us in the hotel corridor. For days married. For days. He took a step toward me. I took 2 steps back, keeping the phone between us like a shield. He violently lunged forward to grab the phone. That's when it happened. "Hey, don't you dare touch her." A woman's voice came from the far end of the hallway, slicing through the tension. She had apparently been watching the confrontation unfold. "I'll call the cops right now if you touch her." Ethan freezed mid-motion, his chest heaving. The relief that washed over me was one I had never felt before. The hallway fell silent except for my ragged breathing. The good lady walked up to me, grabbed my hand, and led me away. We left him standing there in the hallway, caught on camera, watched by hundreds of strangers who were already screen recording, already sharing and making him famous for all the wrong reasons. That night, the clip went viral. Someone had screen recorded the whole thing, posted it to Twitter, then TikTok, then Reddit. The hashtag honeymoon cheater started trending. People were dissecting every frame, pointing out Ethan's inside-out shirt, Tina's guilty face, the hotel room number visible in the background. By 9 p.m., someone had identified the resort where we were staying, posted the name publicly, started tagging them in posts asking if they knew their receptionist was sleeping with married guests. I was sitting in my car in the seaside and parking lot when my phone started blowing up. My mom, my sister, my best friend, my boss, everyone asking if I was okay, if the video was real, if I was safe. I called my sister first. "It's real," I told her. "All of it." "Where are you?" "Still in Monterey. I'm about to drive back to San Diego. Tonight." "Ashley, you shouldn't drive when you're—" "I can't stay here," I said, and my voice finally broke. "I can't be in the same town as him. I need to go home." I drove through the night, 5 hours down the coast, while my phone kept buzzing with notifications. The video was still spreading. More and more people were sharing it, commenting on it, adding their own stories of being cheated on. I'd gone viral for the worst reason possible. When I got back to our apartment, his apartment, technically, since his name was on the lease, at 4 a.m., I called my friend Jordan, who's a divorce lawyer. "I saw the video," Jordan said immediately. "I'm so sorry. I need a lawyer." "You have one." "Me. Don't talk to Ethan. Don't respond to any messages or calls from him." My phone kept buzzing. Ethan had called 16 times, left a dozen voicemails, sent twice as many texts. I didn't listen to the voicemails, didn't read the texts. Jordan said not to, and I trusted Jordan, but I did see the preview of one text. "Ashley, please, we need to talk. This isn't what you think. I can explain everything." I blocked his number. The next morning, Friday, 5 days after my wedding, Jordan filed for divorce on my behalf. That same morning, the video hit mainstream news. A morning show picked it up. Honeymoon horror. Viral video shows newlywed catching husband cheating. They aired edited clips, blurred faces. But everyone who'd seen the original knew exactly who it was. That's when Ethan's employer got involved. See, Ethan wasn't just any employee. He was a senior analyst at Montgomery Financial Group. Yes, same last name, no relation, just cosmically ironic. British company, prestigious, conservative, very concerned with image and reputation. And suddenly, one of their U.S. executives was internet famous for cheating on his wife during his honeymoon. The company's Instagram and Twitter were flooded. Thousands of comments, tags, messages. "Is this your employee? Do you support this behavior? Cheaters represent your company?" They couldn't ignore it. The video had been shared millions of times. Major news outlets were covering it. I'd become the face of every woman who'd ever been betrayed, and Ethan had become the face of every man who'd ever lied. Friday afternoon, Ethan was called into a meeting with HR. I know this because his colleague, a woman named Patricia who'd been at our wedding, called me. "Ashley, I don't know if you want to hear this, but they suspended him," Patricia said. "Pending investigation into conduct unbecoming of company values." That's the official language. Investigation into what? He cheated on his wife, not a client. The video went so viral that it's affecting the company's reputation. Clients are asking about it. Other firms are making jokes. The London office is furious. They're very traditional, very image conscious. They're saying an executive who can't maintain personal integrity can't be trusted with client money. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I just felt tired. What does that mean for him? Honestly, I think they're going to fire him. They're just doing the investigation to cover themselves legally. But Ashley, Patricia paused. You should know what happens if he loses his job. What? His work visa. It's an L1 tied directly to his employment. If Montgomery fires him, he has 60 days to find new sponsorship or leave the country. That information sat heavy in my chest. He could find another job. With this scandal, who's going to touch him? Every HR department does background checks now. Every hiring manager Googles candidates. His name is permanently linked to honeymoon cheater videos with millions of views. Patricia was right. Monday came. Ethan was officially fired. The company released a statement. Montgomery Financial Group maintains the highest standards of personal and professional conduct. After careful review, we have parted ways with the employee in question. We remain committed to our values and to maintaining the trust of our clients and partners. Corporate speak for. We saw the video like everyone else, and we don't want this mess. Ethan's company car was repossessed. His corporate card was cancelled. His access to the London office was revoked. Within 24 hours, he went from senior analyst with a six-figure salary to unemployed viral pariah. And the clock started ticking on his visa. I heard about all of this through Patricia and other mutual acquaintances. Ethan tried to reach out, through friends, through my sister, even through my mom. But I'd blocked him everywhere, and I'd told everyone not to pass along his messages. 3 weeks later, Ethan boarded a flight to London. I know because Patricia sent me a screenshot of his goodbye email to his former colleagues. It was professional, brief, thanked them for their time. No mention of why he was leaving. The video was still everywhere. New versions kept popping up. Analysis videos, reaction videos, TikToks using audio clips from it. "Who's your old friend?" became a meme. People commented it under celebrity cheating scandals, under relationship advice posts, under photos of couples. I'd become internet famous for catching my husband cheating. Not how I'd imagined my honeymoon going. Jordan said the viral video actually helped our divorce case tremendously. California is a no-fault state, so infidelity doesn't technically matter. But when it came to dividing assets and settling debts, having clear evidence of Ethan's timeline, meeting Tina within 48 hours of our arrival, coordinating a secret meeting, lying about his whereabouts, demonstrated a pattern of dishonesty that made his financial claims less credible. He tried to argue for spousal support since he'd lost his job. Jordan shut that down fast by pointing out that his job loss was a direct result of his own choices, not marital circumstances. The divorce was finalized 4 months after I filed. Quick by California standards. I got the apartment deposit back, split our joint savings 50-50, kept my car and personal property. Clean break. No ongoing ties. My maiden name restored. Ashley Reynolds again. Like Ashley Reynolds Montgomery never existed. It's been 6 months now since that hallway. 6 months since I stood there with my phone raised, filming my marriage end in real time. The video still circulates periodically. Every few weeks, it resurfaces on some new corner of the internet. Someone discovers it for the first time, shares it with the caption, "I can't believe I haven't seen this." The cycle repeats. I still get messages. Most supportive. Some cruel. People saying I'm vindictive, that I ruined his life over one mistake, that I should have handled it privately. I block those people and move on. Last week, I got a message from Betty, the housekeeper who'd warned me about Tina. "I wanted to tell you that Tina doesn't work here anymore," Betty wrote. "After your video went viral, the resort investigated. Turns out I wasn't the only one who knew what she was doing. They couldn't fire her for dating guests, technically not against policy. But they found she'd been accessing confidential guest information to target wealthy visitors. That was against policy. She was terminated. I thought you'd want to know." I wrote back, "Thank you for telling me the truth. You gave me the information I needed when I needed it most. That took courage." Betty responded, "You're the one with courage. Most women would have confronted him privately, and he would have talked his way out of it. You made sure there was no way to deny what happened. My cousin's ex-wife saw your video. She said it helped her stop blaming herself. You helped more people than you know. I never set out to be an inspiration. I just set out to protect myself from being gaslit. But if my worst day helped other women have better ones, then maybe the exposure was worth it. I learned that truth is louder than shame. I didn't destroy his life. I just stopped protecting him from the consequences of his own choices. If this story gripped you, why not like the video and subscribe to the channel for more?